Hi everyone, it's Rudy at Clawden Painting Studio. I'm going back to 1776 and the American War of Independence. I've got a peri-plastic Continental infantryman in a hunting shirt, and as part of my growing force for 1776 and the Battle of New York, I am painting this up as a member of the Maryland Infantry. The Maryland Regiment, often depicted in these hunting shirts. I've given the model a prime with some Colourforge Ghoul Grey, and I'm going to be using Army Painter Speedpaints and then a little bit of dry brushing with Army Painter Fanatic paints to finish things off. I've got some blinding light, and I'm going to pick out some of the cross straps. Also use this for a bit of lace around the top of his hat. And for the stockings, so just below the knee. On the back of the model, I'll get the strap for the musket. Again, that lace on top of the hat. And cross straps. Going to do my first bit of dry brushing. Plain old matte white. And anywhere that I've put the blinding light, I will dry brush. I'm not too concerned about this at this stage of white getting on other stuff, because it's all just going to add to that speed paint effect where you've got the translucency in the paint and it will show through the color beneath. My main color for the hunting shirt is Pallid Bone. And I'll also use this sort of tan color on his short trousers here. Breeches, I should say. All the fringe work on the hunting shirt shows up really nicely with a speed paint flowing into the recesses that are sculpted there. Giving the hunting shirt and breeches a dry brush with some worn stone. Skin color is Peachy Flesh. Giving the skin a dry brush with some ruby skin. Using some Satchel Brown to pick out the leather strap that goes to the water bottle. I'll also use this on the hair. I've got dark wood to paint the wood of the musket as well as the canteen, and below that we have a little bayonet sheath. You could just use Satchel Brown if you want to save a bit of time and keep the paints to a minimum, but I just like a little bit of difference between the wood and the leather finish. Got some Grim Black, so I'll paint the hat, but I'm going to leave the top band in the white established earlier to represent the lace. I'll also use this on the boots and gaiters. And the little cartridge box. With some ash grey, I'll do a little bit of dry brushing over the black areas. This is Howling Sand. I'm just picking out the little knapsack. Polished silver is being used to pick out the metalwork on the musket. There's a couple of brass fittings on the musket, and I'm using some glittering loot to pick those out. As a finishing touch on the face, I think a little bit of stubble always looks good. So I've taken some Runic Grey and I've diluted it with Speedpaint Medium. It's about 1 to 10 Runic Grey to Speedpaint Medium. Just applying that around the chin. It may be that it needs a few coats to build up the effect, but take your time. As well as that stubble effect with the Runic Grey across the chin. Bit of poppy red applied across the cheeks and the nose, just adds a bit of ruddiness. So I've based up 8 of the Maryland Regiment. They're individually based on pennies, and that's because I'll probably be using them for a game like Sharp Practice, which has casualty removal. You can find a couple of these figures in each Perry Miniatures Continental Infantry box set, with the option of building them as riflemen. But you can order the sprue separately from the Perry website. And that's how I went about getting a load of these guys together. Other manufacturers provide metal figures in these hunting shirts, but the plastic ones are a bit cheaper. I think the hunting shirts with all their fringes on them take speed paints really well, and they're not only in this sort of tan color, but you would get lots of different colors throughout different regiments. I'm basing mine on the Maryland 400, which is a name given to about 260 probably Marylanders who formed a rear guard during the battle for Long Island in 1776 and took very heavy casualties but allowed a lot of the Continental Army to escape. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It seems like these Speedpaint and Drybrush ones are popular, so I will keep making them. Got any suggestions of anything else you'd like to see painted in this style, pop it in the description below, and I'll see what I can do. Thanks to everybody that watches and likes and subscribes to the videos. It really helps me feel like this is all worthwhile, so thanks to the audience for doing so. If you'd like to support the channel, there's links in the description, and you can become a channel member or patron supporter like these wonderful folks, and that lets you get early access to videos, amongst some other perks. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye for now.